Hello everyone, how's it going? I haven't checked in a while. I haven't really felt like saying much. In fact, I wasn't really planning on posting anything today other than maybe a Happy Passover, Happy Earth Day. And Happy Passover and Happy Earth Day for that matter, by the way. But then, I don't know, I haven't really been looking too much online on things. And then, given that it's Passover tonight, and given what I've been seeing these protesters in America, of all places, doing, I just felt like I had to say something, because what is going on is pretty ridiculous, and one ought not be ashamed to speak out against what en masse. And you see, like, it's kind of contrived anyway. You have your usual paid bad actors, political, professional protesters, and now they've set their sights on American students at universities who happen to be Jewish. And if you don't believe, I've even bookmarked a lot of these. Just an hour ago, there were protests in Ohio State or something where they're literally chanting at Jewish students, "Hey, hey, ho, ho, Zionist, you gotta go." First of all, whatever the show. First of all, let's just break down real quick what the word Zionist means. When they say it, they literally just mean you're a Jewish person, you're Zionist, like you gotta go. It's no different, not once, than, they try to say, well, these protests are peaceful, how dare you, blah, 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 right? Well, the Tiki Torch people were peaceful, for that matter, right? And they protected speech to say hate speech in America. That much is true. But that does not mean you shouldn't roundly condemn such people for such rhetoric, because they are literally in response to all. First of all, the word Zionist, what it actually means is anyone, anywhere, who supports Israel's right to exist as a nation state. That's all it means. That's it. Doesn't mean anything other than that. If you think that Israel has a right to exist as a country on this earth, you're a Zionist. Back before the state of Israel, Zionists were people who wanted to see the Jews get back to the Holy Land because of the Bible and all the prophecies and all this stuff, right? Now they've been back for over 75 years. And all it means at this point is that you support their right to exist. That's it. That makes you a Zionist. If that's you, you don't want to see them all be escorted out of the land or killed or something, then that would be you. And so what they set their sights, and they did this long before October 7th. They set up Zionist-free zones in like some of these colleges, which was a red flag. Some of us tried to hey, wait a minute, that's trouble right there. But now they're literally attacking students at these universities. You can say what you want, like, well, I have no pity for them because when the Republican speakers came, they did the same to them and no one on the left here. Right? And I see a lot of that in the comments. They've been trying to catch up, going through some, but wait a minute. These are students who go there, actual students. And in Colombia in particular, you can see there's video after video of some Jewish person just happened to have a Jewish star as a necklace and walked into the camp or the anti-Semitic CHOP 3.0 section of Colombia. And then these professionally paid people who are clearly not students there themselves, they're just faculty who are getting paid just all kinds of money to instigate and do this, because there's nothing more toxic than this particular subject. They say, a Zionist has entered the camp. We will step forward and push out the Zionist. They just mean a Jew has entered and they don't want him there. And then they do, and there's all kinds of stuff. And, those are American kids, man. They have nothing to do with the war in Gaza. The war on Hamas. There are people yelling, we are all Hamas. If you want to see, like, forget October 7th, you're going to see not 10, not 100, but 1,000 October 7th. October 7th was tragic and unprovoked. I understand the history of that particular section of land probably better than some 17, 18-year-old kid. Do you know how complicated? And I'm not trying to say Israel's never done wrong by the Palestinian people who also occupy that land. That's not it. There's all kinds of bad things. I continue to hope and pray for a ceasefire and then a permanent ceasefire and peace between the Israelis and Palestinians, let alone better treatment overall for equal treatment, in fact. These people, you notice none of them ever once chant from the river to the sea, both Israelis and Palestinians can coexist, share the land, and all be free. That's not what they say. But when you start echoing and identifying with Hamas and Hezbollah, and you see nothing wrong with what Iran did in their response to the attack on their consulate by lobbing over 300 drones and missiles that could have killed untold thousands, but that doesn't matter, right? It's whatever you think of the complex situation in the Middle East right now, in the Holy Land, in Israel and Palestine, Gaza, right? How could you your solution is to call for just get rid of Israel, right? They're occupiers, they're oppressors, whatever. Espousing every last talking point. You want them all and let alone anyone who would support their right to exist, Zionists, basically, right? It doesn't matter, they don't want a two-state solution or a one-state solution. Their solution is no, every Jewish person has to leave the Holy Land. And then all will be well, right? And these are 20-year-old kids, and they're popping up everywhere all of a sudden, just magically, right? Because there's no coordinated effort, right? They're handing out their Marxist and anarchist cool pamphlets. They're burning American flags, let alone Israeli flags. I understand. My heart goes out to the Palestinian people, particularly the citizens in Gaza right now. It's been that way. I called for I've been all in favor of a ceasefire since late November, because particularly first of all, the 1 week that they had it was the only week they got back any kind of hostages, over 100 of them. And since then, I'm a big fan of peace, and I don't want to see particularly in the first 2.5, 3 months of the war after October 7th, way too many civilians die, and civilians continue to die. And I don't want to see them go into Rafah, and they have no play. They told them to go down south, and then because they were going to bomb up north, and now they have nowhere to go. And so I get it's a complicated situation. I'm certainly not trying to say people wouldn't have the right to protest how the war effort is being carried out by Israel against Gaza in their quest to, rid themselves of Hamas ever being able to do what they did again. But I understand there's minutia and wait a minute, Hamas did do that. So I'm not some Hamas sympathizer. I'm certainly not going to say I am Hamas, we are Hamas. What they're doing. First of all, these are 19 and 20-year-old kids, just a whole lot of them, right? Just enough of them on that. They don't give a damn about it. It's the same way they hijacked after what happened to George Floyd and just wanted to inflame and enough of them are doing that, but with this now. Right? And I'm not suggesting there aren't many, many good people, Palestinian Americans and Muslim Americans, or even some of us Christian Americans, whatever you want to call anyone who has an opinion who does not like what is going on. Got a fly there. What is going on with the way things are being carried out right now in the Middle East. But what does that have to do your reaction of that is to take the anger you might feel towards like what the Israeli military is doing halfway across the world, and you're going to attack just Jewish students who aren't monolithic and who can say like what they do or don't like feel as far as like that how the war effort is being carried out, but you're just going to someone's wearing a yarmulke, so you're going to attack them. Someone has a Jewish necklace, Star of David necklace on, so you're going to like all bully and gang up, and you're going to start chanting, the Zionists have to go. And by Zionists, make no mistake, they just mean Jews. A Jew has entered the camp. We must stomp out the Jew. Chase the Jew away. And yeah, you can literally see video after video of these nut jobs saying exactly that. Right? And acting like they're so freedom fighter, or like Hamas is beyond reproach, or Hezbollah, flying the Hezbollah flag. I mean, I pray for peace for that entire neck of the woods. But this is America, and you're doing that to American students who happen to be Jewish, who pay to go to the same school as you. Then there are just overt liars trying to say, I was there, I didn't see any of that going on at the little protest there, I didn't see anything. I mean, that's beyond horrible. Like, I saw some supposed journalist saying that, and good on like the Twitter community for posting video after video of, oh no, it wasn't just off campus that people were saying some of this crazy shit. It's literally on campus. But yeah, no, they've now pivoted to their solution. They're not just calling for a ceasefire or an end to the war or to respect the civilians of Gaza. Nothing like just that. They're now, their solution, right, is to attack anyone, particularly Jewish people, who might feel like the state of Israel has a right to exist. 76 years on from the founding of Israel as a nation, after almost 2,000 years not being on the map. So, I mean, you can't possibly pick a more toxic, and they know that. They even know. They're like anarchists who don't really so much care about it. What they care about is that this will really like cause division here. And so today is Passover. It's like the holiest day of the year for Jewish people. And it's pretty important to all as monotheists. I'm a Christian. I even know certain Muslims who like also agree like God did do that with the Passover and Moses and the Jews, right? So we all understand it's a holiday. And how could you possibly be an American and not feel the need to speak out against it? Both can be true. You can be against a continuation of the war in Gaza, but also be against people who would suggest that the only solution to the problem is that all the Jews have to leave the Holy Land and leave that land, and until then, what? There could be like, that's the only solution you have. Yeah, like, calling Jews Zionists. Zionist just means anyone who supports the state of Israel's right to exist. That's all it means. Look it up for yourself. And that's not even what they mean, because when they say they're the Zionists and the facility, they mean there's a Jewish person. Get them, kick them out, harass them, intimidate them. Who the fuck are you? So I hope and make no mistake, you can't, you say whatever you are, far-right nuts, or the tiki torch people that, like, the press secretary tried to deflect to just those people when asked about this, but these are far-left nutballs. And too many people in the press don't want to speak out against them because it might offend, like, a potential Biden vote, or some shit like that. This has nothing to do with any of that. These are American students. And they are, I mean, I went on the ADL site, nothing about it, right? I thought the ADL was like the most hyper-vigilant, I mean, like anything at all is anti-Semitic, right? But then with this, not one thing about it as of yet. So, I just really don't understand. Like, Israel does have a right to exist. The Palestinians also have a right to exist on the land. I hope and pray for a day where they can all have peace with one another, however they get to that point. And I certainly hope and pray there's a ceasefire. But don't forget, like, things are complicated. Well, Hamas gets a pass. You know, for the past couple months, Israel has offered a 6-week ceasefire for just 40 of the hostages in exchange for 800 prisoners, and that wasn't good enough. Then they said they can't even confirm that there's 40 hostages left alive. I hope and pray there are well more than that alive. But then Hamas tried to say, like, well, how about we give you around 20 of them and you give us 1,600 prisoners. I mean, they don't want a ceasefire. So if you want a ceasefire, why are you not speaking? Like, how does Hamas get a fucking pass when they could, like, in 1 second bring about a ceasefire? Not to mention the fact that you hate all Israelis. There have been many Israelis in the state of Israel who have protested how the war effort has been carried out. And for that matter, there have been many people in Gaza who have spoken out against Hamas, don't appreciate what they did or what they're doing or how they, steal all the aid and the food during a crisis time. I mean, things are complicated. People don't hate each other nearly as much as, you might. But again, because it's the most divisive topic you could possibly think of, now, just what's really cool, is to all organize and stake your flag on you're pro-Hamas, you're anti-Zionist, meaning you don't want Israel to have a right to exist. You claim Palestine was a free area when that was British Palestine before. But if you know anything about the complicated history and how the Holocaust and the horrors of World War II directly played into how Jewish people even got back on that land, I'm not saying there's not a lot of things that I even know, there are, in terms of the second-class citizenry or how things, mistakes were made on both sides, and they don't ever want to apologize to each other or use diplomacy. And I hope things come to a head in a peaceful way sooner than later. But that's halfway across the world. And believe me, what does that have to do with you as a college kid on campus thinking it's cool or okay to chant some of the vile shit? It's literally akin to what Nazis said. It's literally the same thing as what people on the far right, like your counterparts who said the exact same thing, during the Charlottesville thing. Some of the shit being said is way worse. We're going to October 7th you, over and over and over. October 7th was horrible, and 100% of the blame would go to Hamas on that one. It was unprovoked, despite, even calling things like apartheid. Have you ever done research on, Gaza didn't want any Jewish people in Gaza, so they left. Even a week after what happened on October 7th, within a week, woke kindergarten classes. Literally, there was a thing called woke kindergarten. We're teaching American children who were trying to learn the ABCs that G is for genocide, just like those damn Jews are doing in Palestine. Not even a week or two after. You can look it up. So, things are complicated. And I sure don't hate Muslims, and I sure don't hate Jews, and I sure don't hate Christians, and I sure don't hate atheists or Hindus or anyone. I think it's overtly ignorant to hate any one group of people, whether on religious grounds or like how they were born, ethnic nationality grounds, or many things. But it's exactly what they are doing. We're not woke or cool or anything. If what you're, I mean, chanting death to Israel and death to America, like on American soil, doesn't seem smart. It doesn't seem like something like most people should be applauding. You're certainly free to say it. Even like neo-Nazis are free to say like things exactly akin to what like you people are now saying on the far left there in the college campuses. There has to be some pushback because Israel does have a right to exist. And for that matter, so do the Palestinians. And they're gonna have to like come to a way to like try and figure out peace for themselves. But like what they're doing is they never let a crisis go to waste, right? And so ever since, October 7th, just way too many people, because they were organizing anti-Israel like rallies before they even responded, before they did anything. So things are complicated, but look, today is Passover, and so I just wanted to wish anyone who happens to be Jewish, particularly if you're an American, but no, just all of you, a very, very happy Passover. And I hope you have a good night. And I just want to make it known, like, couldn't care less what you think of me about it, but like those people in those like it's cool to like have camps and college camp. Oh, we're anti-Zionist. Hey, you're a Zionist. Get out of here. Like, you should all be fucking ashamed of yourselves and understand things. And the ADL should be fucking ashamed of itself too, because I haven't heard shit from them or far too many of the politicians on the left about this, actually. Because it's perfectly fair for you to be against the war or how the IDF is conducting themselves in Gaza, or to call for a ceasefire or any of that stuff. That is more than fair. I'm right there with you. But what you are doing is just anti-Semitic. It's no different than literally what Nazis say. Some of this shit. And to take out the frustrations on something like halfway around the world, or if you're mad that your college didn't divest in BlackRock stock, which is literally what it is that they're actually mad about when they say divest in Israel, in that particular instance of Colombia, it's staggering to me that it would be controversial to say that, no, you know what? Israel has a right to exist. We hope they stop their war. We're against the massive amounts of civilian casualties that had to happen while they were trying to. But first of all, Hamas shares some of the blame here. I mean, they do entrench themselves with the civilian population. They did start this little tiff on October 7th. I mean, raping and murdering and kidnapping between the three, over 1,400 people in one day is an act of war, and they meant it as such. And sure enough, they declared war on Hamas. And many of us were concerned from the first second it happened. Well, Hamas does not represent, all the people of Gaza or the Palestinians. So everybody understands it's more complex than you people. And by you people, I mean the complete fools chanting and doing these things at these college campuses, let alone like at some of the other rallies. Like, forget it. Like, that's not the solution, right? Like, that was a solution that like Hitler suggested, actually. So do yourself a favor if you find yourself a student on any college campus, let alone these like super elite, liberal, like super smart, like college campuses that all seem to like want to do this, right? I mean, like Yale, like someone took a Palestinian flag and stabbed some Jewish girl, some student in the eye. That's nice, right? Make sure you understand to communicate. No, I don't hate you because you're Jewish and no different than me, but you happen to be Jewish and American and you're here at the college. And vice versa. Make sure if you're a Jewish person, you tell someone who happens to be Muslim, like, I don't hate you because you're Muslim and there's crazy complicated stuff in the world, let alone in the Middle East, in that particular neck of the woods, the most toxic. And literally that is why, like, they are choosing to do this, because the paid agitator, instigator people, that's what they do. Like, they never let a crisis go to waste. And you have to understand, a lot of these teachers or people with the bullhorns who are you are clearly a 35-year-old woman. We are going to repeat and chant hateful things while cloaking ourselves as beyond reproach. It's just pretty disgusting. And you gave yourselves away when you treat students who have every right to be there and, much like yourself, had nothing to do with either what Hamas did or what the Israelis did as a response to October 7th. Nothing. And everybody can have their opinion on it. My opinion is I don't give a shit if it's like toxic to you, because like I don't hate either quote unquote side. I feel bad for the civilians in Gaza. I feel horrible. And my heart went out when I saw what happened on October 7th. I don't agree with the Ayatollah or whoever who was celebrating on October 8th when like this is great. There's nothing good about it. Now, I seem to say us monotheists should stick together a little bit more than we do, right? But all that, like, how can you, like, shame on you fucking people, really? To do that? To say, if you see some of the shit that they are saying, yeah, I gotta be honest, I got no love for fucking Hamas or Hezbollah. I don't think these proxy groups and all that, I don't think they represent the people of Palestine or Islam or, any Muslim. I don't think that once. Those people did just, kill and rape innocent civilians to begin with. I don't think the response should be to indiscriminately bomb, and I have said as much. I tried to say, and I think you need a scalpel, not a hammer. But, look, whatever the stuff halfway across the world, just in terms of America, we're Americans. We know it's wrong to demonize someone just because they're Muslim or just because they're Jewish or just because they're black or they're white, or even if they might be a Christian, or even if they might be a Catholic one or this one, or we're supposed to know that. You can be against all that stuff, but that's not what's going on here. And particularly, it's tragic. On Passover, they have to relocate where their Passover dinner is going to be held because it's not safe for them, and that's the best the college campuses can offer that. This is just getting ridiculous. So I get a lot of it is by design, right? And enough of these fucking professional, older people get paid to instigate and stir up. Even enough of the students probably get kickback somehow. If they're really vocal, they'll get rewarded one way or another for being real instigating. It's just disgusting though. That is just literally the definition of anti-Semitism. A lot of this stuff being said. And when you are attacking a Jewish student just because they're Jewish, we don't want you here, you've got to leave. You are bothering us, and we're so great. And Hamas is good, and Israel bad. If that's literally your take, right? Because things are complicated. I hope they do get better, but then you're on the wrong side of it. Apologies, my phone cut out, but you are on the wrong side of it in the exact same way that if you say that there's no problem with all the death and destruction, and like we would want all 2 million of the people of Gaza to be deported, then you also would be on the wrong side of it. But particularly in America, no, wait a minute. Those students didn't do shit. And what are you doing on, like, these people, like half of them on these, like at these rallies are old, 30, 40-year-old plus people. Like, you're not a student. Are you a faculty member? Are you what are you doing? I think the goal is just to like instigate and stoke hatred between Jews and Muslims and Christians and get everybody blah, 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 right, and like anarchy cool, and you're even passing out anarchist flags, and our real goal here at anarchists is to like get America, and the way to do it, and like there's literature that people have taken pictures of from these rallies to that end. So I hope we don't all take the bait. I'll stop it there. But look, happy Passover, everybody. Whoever you are, pray for peace. It's Earth Day, but like, what does like all this have to do with Earth? Well, like, if you care about like not getting into a fucking World War III, if you have a problem with the death and destruction that's already gone on in some of these wars, then like you probably wouldn't want to be trying to fuel more war and more hatred and exacerbating like all these things, and particularly like what the new like you're a Zionist, like what you feel like, because in the modern world which we were all born into, like of which like Israel has been around, like because I'm against like getting rid of every last Jewish person from the Holy Land in that land, like that's your problem with me? Like, wait a minute. I bet there's more people in the world like who are Zionists than who are anti-Zionist, actually, just so you understand it. And even within the Muslim world, I mean, like people are trying to get along. Even Israel and like other countries and the Abraham Accords, like people are starting to try. And so, of course, like there are forces that really wouldn't want that. I mean, that would like, it goes against their rhetoric or whatever. It's not good for the like war complex. We know that, right? So let's not take the bait. Everybody say a prayer for the people of Gaza. Everybody say a prayer for like the people of Israel. Everybody say a prayer for like wisdom. If you don't pray because you don't believe in that, well then at least like, try to, you care about peace on Earth, right? Like bombs are real, right? Like war would spiral out of control. Everyone would get sucked in. Thank God we just averted what could have been like a huge like spark to a tinderbox with respect to between Iran and Israel. Like I noticed like America, as well as the G7, as well as Saudi Arabia, as well as a lot of people called on Israel to use restraint, and they did. That's what they did. And so hopefully, like, diplomacy and like, I don't know, speaking to each other candidly is probably, even though it like doesn't enrich like Halliburton and them and, Lockheed Martin and Vanguard and all the right, like that's probably the wiser way to go. And I mean, like, if you do care about Israel and you care about their long-term stability, then certainly you probably wouldn't want them to do something completely rash and stupid in Rafah right now, because that's going to breed a whole generation. I mean, like, then it's a never-ending cycle of like, but you just did this, but you just did that, but you like, let's use some wisdom here and try and find some common ground. And if you're in America and you don't have a problem with people bullying students at their campuses just because they're Jewish, right? And then there's something wrong with you. In the same way that if just because they're Muslim, you don't like, and then there's something wrong with you. Because that's how our country and how the world works. There's different types of people. So, I just the whole thing is like, it is by design. And they don't give much of a platform to people who aren't like incendiary with their words, and then they do like anyone who's saying, I mean, look at what they're saying. If you thankfully we do have like these videos on like X or some of these platforms or like that show exactly what they're saying and how they're treating their fellow students who their only crime is that they're Jewish, so they're wearing a yarmulke and they like want to check out what these protests are going on, and they're going to do that. I mean, there's no other word other than, it's the very definition of anti-Semitism with some of this stuff. And so anyway, I understand it's a very complicated issue that goes back far beyond October 7th with respect to the Holy Land and why they, but ultimately it is up to those people for themselves to all talk and deal in good faith with one another and come up with a peaceful solution. But let's not pretend that these pricks in these rallies at these college campuses and elsewhere who are the same people who, like, if there was some other thing, like I said, they'd be protesting that, are like, the wisest or the like, least hateful people around, when that is definitely, clearly not so. Because you can't even differentiate between what is going on somewhere else in the world and college students, fellow American students who pay to go there. You're going to redirect that anger at them, right? That's just stupid. And so, like, it is ignorant and it is hateful. And I hope everyone calls you out about it. And make no mistake, it is largely like it's this time, it's people on the left. And so it is incumbent upon people on the left to not give a shit about that, because it might affect, if you think that is going to like hurt Biden's chance, or like, well, you're using that type of calculus? What? This is a societal issue, and this is an American issue because it's happening in America. Can't control what they say in Iran, but like when you try and say the same shit they say in Iran, but you're on a college campus with all kinds of people, including Jews, but you say, well, guess what? Like, then we certainly have the right to like tell you to like go to hell yourself about it, because that's just the definite. You just hate Jewish people. And like, whether you do or you don't, like, someone, you look at the phone, it says to say this, you say this. Like, you can even see some of these anarchist people in some of these clips reading, like, the time is now to act. And they're just reading. It's almost like there's some scheme with a font about it. Anyway, happy Passover, everyone. If you happen to be Jewish, or even not, hey, happy Passover to all of us. But particularly, obviously for Jewish people, I hope you have a very good night. You're not alone. And so I just very much wanted to say that, because I couldn't believe, I saw some headlines in the newspaper, and then I just decided today to do like an hour of digging into videos and what are they actually doing on these college campuses. And it's like, I couldn't believe it. Isn't that just a little too on the nose? That just seems like if you don't push back and nip in the bud like this with this, and explain why it's definitely not okay, and like you're not afraid to, like, they shame everyone else, like shame them for once, because shame on you. And even like with this, like, but you're a Zionist. Pal, I am unapologetically a Zionist in the sense that I support the state of Israel's right to exist, despite the fact that I don't believe it's anti-Semitic to attack like how they might be running the war, or like maybe the wisdom in blowing up a like self-sovereign consulate, or some of the things that like that doesn't make one anti-Semitic. But you know what does? When you start demonizing people just because they're Jewish and saying the Zionists are gonna go, you just mean the Jews, and by proxy Christians or even Muslims or even anyone who would support the state of Israel's right to exist. And that's just by dumb luck, why would that be like what they picked to like, let's use Zionism now for like the new thing? No, lefty, well, I don't think you're a lefty so much as just, it's not gonna work out the way you think, actually. And I do understand there are plenty of people who come from like certain countries who have said that for years, but like Iran or like somebody, like, we don't want that. We want peace at this point, and you're not going to get peace that way. And we all know God is peace, the Lord is peace, right? Allah likes peace. So if you don't understand that, then like you'll give yourself away. But unapologetically, like that's my little rant here, my 40-minute rant. And I just really cannot believe that these people are being allowed to get away with some of this shit, or that there's no pushback when they're saying things to Jewish people wearing a yarmulke, like, we're gonna October 7th you every day, and like da 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 da. And like, I mean, just someone else, please do, like, if you watch this, like, help me out a little bit, because that's just fucking disgraceful. All right, have a good day, everyone. God bless you all, but particularly if you're a Jewish person, hey, I sure don't hate you, and certainly not just because you happen to be Jewish, actually. Nor do I, like, hold against you, like, any potential sins of someone else who might be Jewish. So, like, I don't like you because I don't do that. And, hey, God bless you, all right? Lord is with you. And I would say the same to any Muslim person. I understand, like, hey, God bless you too. Lord is with you, all right? Even us Christians. Hey, we know that one, Lord is with us. Hey, how do we know that one? Anyway, all right, God bless you all. Have a good day and a very happy Passover to the Jewish community. That's about it.